الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين بالقاسم المصطفى محمد. Dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, we are blessed to be amongst you with another episode of Practical Guidance from the Revelation. Discussing the importance of the Holy Quran has been the topic for the past 34 episodes. And why do we need to take care of the Quran more, pay attention to the verses of Quran more, read more, and ponder more on the verses of the Holy Quran. We get to a beautiful hadith by Rasulullah, which is alarming, and it discusses what will happen to us on the Day of Judgment. Where Rasulullah states, أنا أول وافد على العزيز الجبار. I'm the first to come to the Day of Judgment. يوم القيامة. وكتابه وأهل بيتي ثم أمتي. So after me, the Holy Quran will come, and then after that, my progeny, أهل البيت عليهم السلام. ثم أسألهم ما فعلتم بكتاب الله وبأهل بيتي. On the Day of Judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings the Holy Prophet first, and then Quran comes second, and then Ahlul Bayt alayhum salam come next. And we are there. After Rasulullah, the book of Allah, Quran, and Ahlul Bayt, us, Ummati, the nation of Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, we come after. Then Rasulullah will ask us, ثم أسألهم ما فعلتم بكتاب الله وأهل بيتي. What did you do with the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and my progeny Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam? Because if you remember, the importance of Eid al-Ghadir is that, amongst the many importance that it has, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala appointed Amir al-Mu'mineen, the commander of the faithful, Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. And then Rasulullah mentioned that the book of, I'm leaving you two valuable things, the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and my progeny Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. So he already told us what he's leaving us with, what we need to be looking after, what should be our guidance, and where he says if you hold on to them both, you will not go astray. So he gave us what we need. On the Day of Judgment, he will come and he will ask us, what did you do with my Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam and the Quran? Meaning, did you read the Quran? Did you learn lessons from the Quran? Did you bring Quran into your lives? Did you practice the verses of the Holy Quran and the lesson that it had? And also the narrations of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. How much you were familiar with the narrations of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam? How much did you know of them? For some people, they only know the names of the Imams. For some, from the beginning. For some people, even minorities of the minorities, they only know Imam Ali alayhi salam, Imam al-Hasan al-Mustafa alayhi salam, and then Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam, and then that's it. And they might know Imam al-Rida alayhi salam, keeping in mind Mashhad, and then our beloved Imam Mahdi, may Allah hasten his reappearance. But all the other Imams, they don't know their names. So, do we know their names? We have to. How much narrations do we know from them? And how many verses of Quran do we know that they have interpreted? And we know the verses of Quran from the perspective of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Because no one knows Quran except Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. And nobody should interpret Quran but Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. And we discussed about this in the previous episodes. So how many do we know? That becomes us, how many hadith do we know? That brings us to an action plan. Inshallah, we get a book by the name of Tuhaf al-Uqul. The PDF is online available. Just Google it, Tuhaf al-Uqul. Inshallah, we will have an email address. You can email us. If you can't find it, we will email you the book. It has the hadith of starting from Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, all the way to our beloved Imam Mahdi, may Allah hasten his reappearance. So from each ma'soom, each of the Imams, it has good amount of narrations that can be a good startup for us to start reading and acting upon the narrations of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam and the teachings of Quran. We need both of them together. We will keep reminding ourselves that we need Quran and Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, both of them together. None of divide them. If we divide them and if you hold on to the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not Ahlul Bayt or vice versa, we will go astray. This is what Rasulullah told us. So in order for us to have an answer on the Day of Judgment, when Rasulullah asks us, ثُمَّ أَسْأَلُهُمْ مَا فَعَلْتُمْ بِكِتَابِ اللَّهِ وَبِأَهْلِ بَيْتِي. When Rasulullah will ask us, what did you do with my progeny and the Quran? We can tell Rasulullah that Alhamdulillah, we were blessed to read Quran, understand Quran throughout these interpretations and these episodes that we're honored to bring you. And we were also reading the narrations of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. Keep it next to your prayer mat. In the morning, when you wake up, this is an action plan for all of us, including myself. We leave the Quran and we place the Quran and the book of Tuhaf al-Uqul as the book of Ahadith to start up next to our prayer mat. In the morning, after our Salat al-Subh, that we said in a previous episode that inshallah we will be awake from Salat al-Subh until sunrise. That 1 hour, 15 minutes we have based on where we live. We read a page or two. If we can read 50 verses of the Holy Quran and read the translation, that is a sign of a believer. Where Imam Sadiq alayhi salam has stated, a believer is the one who reads 50 verses of the Holy Quran a day. If we can read 50 verses of the Holy Quran and also read the translation, that is the best. And after that, we start from the beginning. We take 1 or 2 or 3 hadith. Actually, let's just hold on to 1 hadith a day. We read 1 hadith, starts with Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. We read hadith from Rasulullah. We ponder about those verses that we read. And we ponder about the hadith of Rasulullah. How can I implement 1 verse from those 50 verses? And 1 hadith from this hadith that I have read, how can I implement them today and throughout the next week and the next month and a year? So by the end of the year, in 2020, inshallah, we will have long life. You have read, understood, pondered, and inshallah have acted upon 365 narrations and 365 verses of Holy Quran. We don't have to go big. No, small steps, baby steps. 1 verse a day we think and ponder. We read 50 verse and we read the translation, and then we take 1 verse that we think and ponder. What is this verse is trying to tell me? And inshallah, we start from the beginning and we are familiar with the interpretation that we are honored to bring you. So when we read Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, when we read Surah Al-Hamd, when we read Surah Al-Baqarah, we will remember the interpretations, we will remember the tafsir, and that verse and that hadith that we have read. 365 narrations, 365 verses of Holy Quran can definitely revolutionize our life and can change our perspective to the life, and we can solve our problems and resolve them using the Quran and Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. So this is why we need to go back to the Quran. This is why we need to go back to the narrations of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, because Rasulullah will ask us on the Day of Judgment. This is part of our belief. This hadith is in the book Kaf al-Sharif, volume 2, page 600. Where Rasulullah will ask us, what did you do with Quran? Well, some people will answer, oh Rasulullah, I really respected the Quran, I kept it on the bookshelf, and I just took it out of the bookshelf, make sure there was no dust on it, and make sure I didn't have my kids to play with the Quran. And the month of Ramadan came, I make sure I read it cover to cover. Some people will answer that, and Rasulullah will ask them, what did you do with my progeny? Well, Rasulullah, I only knew Imam Hussein alayhi salam. I attended the majalis of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein within the 10 days of Muharram, and that was it. Well, more is needed from us. All of those sacrifices were for you and I to get these 2 valuable gems, the Book of Allah and Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, and act upon them. So why Ahlul Bayt? Why we need Ahlul Bayt within this system of interpretation, within this series, within understanding Quran? Why do we need it? Because of the hadith from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, where Imam says, "Inna Ahlul Baytin لم ينبعث منا إلا من يعلم كتابه من كتابه من أوله إلى آخره." Where Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, each one of us that has been sent as an imam, as a guidance to people, each and every one of us, we know the Holy Book of Quran from the beginning to the end. We know it cover to cover. No one else has claim. All the other khulafa that came and took the Khilafah of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam and didn't allow them to rule the people and didn't allow them to guide people to Allah and to heaven and to the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, none of them can claim, and we don't have it within our ahadith that they, or history, that they said we know the Quran cover to cover. None of them, except Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. They have claimed, and it is within our books and narrations how beautifully they interpreted the verse of the Holy Quran. Another hadith, where Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, Wallah, he swears to God. Very important to keep in mind. Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, they don't swear easily. For some people, unfortunately, everything that they say, oh, Wallah, 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 within some culture, some communities. That actually brings us to a good second action plan. We should not use the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for silly things. Wallah, I came one time. Wallah, I'm not lying to you. What? Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, they only used the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they swore to Allah for a very, very important reason, for about the statement that they're about to make. Wallah, inni I la'a'lamu kitab Allah min awwalihi ila akhirah. By God, I know the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the beginning to the end. كأنه في كفي, is as is the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in my hand. I know it cover to cover. Every verse of the Holy Quran, I know of it. فيه خبر السماء وخبر الأرض. In it we have the news of the heavens and the news of the earth. وخبر ما كان وخبر ما هو كائن. Whatever has the news of what happened past and what is upcoming. قال الله فيه تبيان كل شيء. Where Allah has said in it, as the affair has been mentioned, the affair of everything. Imam said, في كأنه في كفي, is as is in my hand. One day, Umar al-Khattab asked Amir al-Mu'mineen, the commander of the faithful, Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, how is it that every question that we ask you, you know the answer? Right away you answer us. Umar is surprised. Why every time that he asks Amir al-Mu'mineen, the commander of the faithful, he knows the answer. Imam tells him, how many fingers do you have in your hand? He said, 5. He said, did you have to think about 5? He said, no, I know about it. I know of it. Anyway, as soon as you ask me, I know 5 fingers I have in my hand. Imam says, all the questions that you ask, and we can also understand that everything that is in Quran, Imam knows that it's the way that we know the amount of fingers that we have in our hands. They know it all. So we are in need of narrations of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam to understand the Holy Quran, and no one else. If we read an interpretation of scholars which is not based on the words of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, we should not listen to it. We should not take it. No, we should go to those interpretations, those scholars who refer back to the ahadith and the narrations of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam to teach us and educate us what Quran has for us. This hadith was in Tafsir al-Burhan, volume 1, page 34. Another hadith by the commander of the faithful, Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, where he says, ما نزلت آية إلا وأنا علمت في من أنزلت وأين أنزلت وعلى من نزلت أن ربي وهب لي قلبا عقولا ولسانا طلقا. Imam says, there is no verse that was revealed to the Holy Prophet except I know about what it was revealed. في من أنزلت, where it was revealed, on whom it was revealed, what was the occasion, why it was revealed, when was it, when was it, where was it, why it was revealed. And Allah has inspired me with an intellect and a heart and outspoken tongue. We see Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, they say we know the Holy Quran better than everyone else. We know it cover to cover, why it was revealed, when it was revealed, how it was revealed. So can we go anywhere else than the door of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam to find and learn Quran? Not at all. Another verse that we have to keep in mind, another hadith, why we are emphasizing on going to the doors of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, knocking on the doors of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, and trying to gain the knowledge of Ahlul Bayt, knowledge of Quran from the perspective of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Where Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, أن القرآن فيه محكم ومتشابه فأما المحكم فنؤمن به ونعمل به وندين الله به وأما المتشابه فنؤمن به ولا نعمل به وهو قول الله فأما الذين في قلوبهم, and the rest of the verse. Imam says, verses of the Quran, some of them are definitive, محكم, and some of them are metaphorical. In the Quran فيه محكم ومتشابه. Some of them are definitive, and some of the verses are metaphorical. فأما المحكم فنؤمن به ونعمل به. The definitives, we believe in them and we act upon them. وندين الله به. وأما المتشابه فنؤمن به. But the metaphorical, we believe in it ولا نعمل به, and we don't act upon it. وهو قول الله فأما الذين في قلوبهم زيغ. Those who have in their hearts hate and hypocrisy. فيتبعون ما تشابه منه ابتغاء الفتنة. They will follow, these people will follow the metaphorical and they will act upon the metaphorical. وما يعلم تأويله إلا الله والراسخون في العلم. No one knows its interpretation except Allah and those firmly grounded in knowledge, and those who are firmly rooted in knowledge. They say, we believe in it, all of it's from our Lord, and none takes admonition except those who possess intellect. How do we know? How do we know which verses are definitive and which verses are metaphorical? We don't know it. If it's not because of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, we will not know which verse we have to act upon and which verse we believe in and we don't act upon. We are again and again and again in need of the interpretations that are based upon the narrations of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. So that brings us to action plan again. Remember, Tuhaf al-Uqul, search it, find the book, find the PDF, download it, put it next to Quran, next to your prayer mat every day. We read 50 verse and we read the translation, and then we think and ponder about one of those verses, and then we take one hadith, we read it, the English translation is there, if not email us, we will inshallah email it to you, and we will think and ponder and try to bring one verse of Quran a day and one hadith inshallah a day in our lives, and we will see how much we will have better life. We will conclude inshallah by reading Dua al-Faraj, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to hasten the appearance of our beloved Imam Mahdi ajalallah ta'ala faraj al-sharif. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.